Madam President, I stand in support of this bill. This bill is absolutely essential to make sure that the Postal Service is on sound financial footing. As Leader Schumer mentioned, Americans all across our country rely on the Postal Service to deliver critical items to their home, things like medicines, which go via the Postal Service. They expect that service to provide it 6 days a week and to do it on time. But unfortunately, the Postal Service has been saddled with rules that make it very, very difficult. The legislation before us is an attempt to fix those rules that make it more difficult for the Postal Service to deliver essential services and do it in a cost-effective way. It is something that has been discussed here in Congress for a decade or more. A decade or more. This is not an issue that just came out of nowhere. This is something we've been trying to fix for nearly a decade. Over the last year and a half, we have been working on bipartisan, bicameral legislation, bringing people together and saying, let's just focus on what is common sense. And let's see, what is common sense? Right now, the Postal Service has to pre-fund retirement health care for decades. No other company in America needs to do that. No other federal agency in the government does that. No one does it, but the Postal Service is saddled with this requirement, which is tens of billions of dollars. It's common sense to treat the Postal Service like every other business and every other government agency in federal government. Also, it makes sense to have retirees integrated into Medicare, like every single company in America. It'll be integrated into Medicare, and let's be clear, those postal workers have been paying into Medicare their whole working career. They're paying into Medicare. They should have the ability to actually get Medicare. This will also help the Postal Service be able to function in an efficient and effective way. The bipartisan, bicameral work that we did, I worked with my ranking member, Senator Portman. We've been working with our counterparts in the House, in both Democratic chair and the Republican ranking member, came up with an agreement, got wide consensus from folks throughout Congress. In fact, the bill that I introduced here in the Senate, which is basically the bill that is before us from the House, has 28 co-sponsors, 14 Republicans, 14 Democrats. How many bills do we have here on the floor that have that much support from both sides? This is bipartisan. This is common sense. It addresses a critical issue for the American people, and they want us to come together and solve it. But instead, we have a procedural blocking technique to slow this down. And every day we wait, it puts the Postal Service in more jeopardy. It's time for action now. As the leader mentioned, since 2000, there have been similar kinds of mistakes by the transfer of a bill. 5 times in 20 years. And every time it's been settled quickly because people say, just a mistake, let's move on with the business of the people. Let's not play games. I would hope we could do that now. 5 times it went quickly. In fact, 3 of those times, the bills that came over had less bipartisan support than this bill. This bill had 120 Republicans support it in the House. It is time to move this forward. Let's stop playing games. Let's help the Postal Service. Let's help the American people. And let's show that the United States Senate knows how to get a job done.